The door was ajar. Someone had left it that way. Good or bad. Inside, the corridor smelled like bleach and warm plastic. The lab was dark, screens sleeping, equipment huddled like animals. I flipped on my flashlight and we started the checklist. Time-stamped photos of every screen, copies of the code on external drives, a printout of the file properties of the party footage Claire had stolen. I felt ridiculous being methodical in a place that had been my refuge since middle school, but the checklist calmed me. Proof is a kind of armor. We worked fast. Claire had an uncanny ability to find things. USBs wedged under monitors, old SD cards behind the soldering station, a crumpled parking receipt with a timestamp that matched one of the party photos. We cataloged, photographed, and backed everything up to 2 separate drives. At 6:22, when we were double-checking a log file, my laptop pinged with a new email. Subject, nice try. Body, we saw you. Don't get cute. Attached, a single image. The lab at 6 a.m. My backpack on a table, a flash drive visible on top, and, worst of all, my hands mid-reach, captured in a frame that made it look like I was moving the drive purposefully. I froze. Claire read over my shoulder and went completely still. That's not possible, she whispered. We were the only ones here. We were, I said. But someone's been here earlier. Someone's setting this up. Her eyes snapped to mine, and in that look I saw fear and fury, and the first crack of something else. Regret, resolve. Okay, she said. We need to find out who's watching the lab, and why they'd frame you. I wanted to ask her how deep this went, whether it pulled its strings tied to people who'd benefit from making us small. I wanted to keep the list of what-ifs from filling the room. Instead, I closed my laptop and said, then we start at the beginning. We left the lab with 2 drives, notes scrawled in a shaky hand, and one cold certainty. Someone had already decided I was the villain in a story they were telling. The only question left was whether we could flip the script before it burned us both. As we walked back into the morning light, Claire slid a tiny strip of paper across my palm. On it, in tidy handwriting I didn't recognize, was one line. They'll make you look guilty. Make them prove it first. I looked up. Claire's mouth was a hard line. No more jokes. Ready? She asked. I wanted to say yes, like I meant it. Instead I said, I don't know. She grinned. Small and dangerous. Good. That means you'll keep your head. We walked toward the main doors, and behind us, the parking lot emptied into a wash of gray. The next step wasn't clear. The plan wasn't clean. But the thing that had started as a science fair partnership was suddenly a longer experiment. Could 2 people who'd lived in separate orbits build something together that could actually change trajectory? We pushed open the doors and stepped into the school, and somewhere in the back of my head, another message buzzed through my phone, this time with no sender. Welcome to the game. Move carefully.